When colonists first arrived at the New World some time ago, they sought out valuable minerals and treasures. Upon their arrival, they found thousands upon thousands of miles of natural resources, which over time they used for countless industries, but in turn abused and depleted the land. This trend continued throughout Manifest Destiny as the United States pushed further west to expand the rising population on the East Coast. Industries such as mining and lumber were the main victims. Following this was the height of the Industrial Revolution, furthering the need for resources and polluting the environment even more. In the midst of all this, a Scotch-born conservationist named John Muir sought for change, and a quick one at that. It was evident that if this continued, the United States' natural treasures would be taken as well. John Muir was born in 1838 in Dunbar, Scotland. By the mid-1840s, his family, much like others, immigrated to America. By 1849, his family made it to Wisconsin and ran a small farming operation. In Muir's youth, he was immediately struck with fascination by the natural beauty of the American landscape. Between the diversity of species to the vast array of biomes, he began to take interest in conservation. In the 1860s, he began to work in a nearby factory. In 1867, he got in an accident and was temporarily blind. From this point on, he realized the many qualms with industrialism and set out to devote his life to God's natural creation and not one of man. Shortly after, he began his first conservation pilgrimage. He walked 1,000 miles from Louisville, Kentucky to the Florida Keys. Along the way, he researched an array of trees from many biomes, different soils, and water quality, all of which he recorded in a journal. His end game was to fully immerse himself in nature and lobby for conservation in a time where it was much needed. His next journey would take him to California, where he specifically studied Yosemite. Between his travels in the Southeast and his new venture in Yosemite, he realized his calling was not just botany, it was to preserve natural phenomena throughout the country. In 1870, he started a magazine called Overland Monthly, which brought Yosemite and other sites in the U.S. to the national eye. After 9 years of advocating for this cause, he took it to Alaska, where he explored Glacier Bay, bringing it to the public eye. When he returned to California, he began lobbying with large media companies to include his writings in them. In 1890, Century Magazine published his work about Yosemite, making it widely popular, especially among congressmen in D.C. Just a year later, in 1890, Congress commemorated Muir's efforts by making Yosemite the first national park, with more to come in the near future. In 1892, he created the Sierra Club, which is a conservation lobbyist group. Muir and the Sierras worked heavily with Grover Cleveland and, more notably, Theodore Roosevelt to establish more parks. Roosevelt established 5 national parks, 150 national forests, and 51 bird reserves, among other conservation efforts. Muir also inspired Ansel Adams, a famous photographer who published famous photographs of the American West and Yosemite alike. All of Muir's efforts inspired countless people to shed light on the importance of conservation and preservation on the American landscape. With this work, I believe without his work, I believe mass industrialism would have taken this beauty from us. John Muir's life and legacy demonstrates how one individual's dedication can reshape an entire nation's relationship with the natural world. At a time when America's landscapes were threatened by rapid expansion, industrial growth, and unchecked resource extraction, Muir recognized the irreplaceable value of the country's forests, mountains, and waterways. Through his explorations, writing, and tireless advocacy, he not only brought national attention to places like Yosemite and Glacier Bay, but he also helped lay the foundation for the United States' conservation movement. His partnership with influential leaders, including President Roosevelt, resulted in the creation of national parks and forest reserves that continue to protect millions of acres of wilderness today. Ultimately, Muir's work reminds us that natural beauty is not a resource to be used, but a heritage to be safeguarded. Without his vision and persistence, the American landscape and our connection to it would look profoundly different. Thank you.